Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first Friday of the month inquiry and summer campers too. Yes, I love this gathering. So wherever you are, morning, afternoon, evening, early evening, late afternoon, just landing. I love this thought that every moment is a new opportunity, a new beginning, every moment. You can almost pretend like you've never ever heard of the work before. Just landing here, ready to wonder. And also this quote from Katie I saw from A Mind at Home with Itself today. It's only yourself you're ever dealing with. It's only yourself you're ever dealing with. It doesn't mean nothing ever happened, but like just looking at the way the mind works and logs what happens, studying whatever suffering is here or confusion. Yeah, imagining being able to find that freedom that we all kind of know is there already. What if whatever's happening outside in the world or with us, with other people, or even our own behaviors in some cases, what if that doesn't need to trap us or feel like we're stuck or a victim of it? What if we can inquire and see how free we are? Oh, what an invitation. Let's just see what happens. So I love these sessions, open inquiry. So, begin with just letting everything be here the way it is. And that includes our thinking. It's all here anyway. So let's, instead of, well, we don't even have to, instead of fighting it so much, but just noticing that too. And I love that the starting point of the work is what we're disturbed by, what we don't like. Just allowing that to live, to be there, to be communicating. We're going to give some attention to that. Yes, Anne.
So I wrote a worksheet this morning. Last night there was a community get together at this place that I live, and I went and I sat down at a table in the beginning. There weren't that many people there, and I talked with a few people, and I saw some people playing ping pong, and I played ping pong a little bit. But at some point, I just looked at all the people, and they were talking, and I didn't feel like I had anything to say, and I just felt like, I felt this feeling in me, like dropping everything, my energy dropping, and I left, and so I wrote this worksheet.
Perfect.
If you want to hear it.
Love it. All right. Yeah. Read the worksheet. Great moment.
I am saddened with the neighbors because we don't have much in common. I want the neighbors to be more youthful. The neighbors shouldn't be locked into their personas. I need the neighbors to be more aware of their spiritual lives, to talk more about inner work instead of their jobs or worldly things. The neighbors are concerned about worldly status. They're old, they're boring, they're not very inventive. They're stuck in their job descriptions. I don't ever want to feel like I cannot connect with at least one person in a crowd of people on a deeper than superficial level.
So good. I bet you, has anyone ever felt like I don't belong here? These are not my people. I can't connect with anyone. Yeah. Has anyone not felt that before? It's a good one. And this can be done. So I love that, Anne. We'll do the work. But as you're all considering and holding it, where I love thinking about even when it's somebody I know really well, but something seems to be off. And I might be thinking, oh, I'm just not connecting. I might even use the word superficial, or so something's not deep here that I want. This isn't it, says the mind. So you can hold that as your situation, whole group, even just one person. This isn't it. Not connected. Okay, so great moment. You're just, there you are, and you're gazing out at the room.
It was actually outdoors in an outdoor setting, but yeah, gazing at everybody there.
Okay. And so I'm not connecting with people here. Your words. Yeah, I love it how you kind of
We don't have much in common. That
much.
was my first statement.
Okay. So, translate that however it fits for you all. And I love using the words that our mind is talking about. It's like letting those words be the ones that are adequate. We don't have much in common. And even uniquely in this particular situation, even if it's somebody you do feel like you have lots in common with, I don't know, partners, children, parents, family. But in this moment, in this situation, we don't have much in common on this topic. Okay. And everyone can answer, and you can even put your shares in the chat if you like, and you can just let it percolate through you. Oh, and I love that, Anita. Yeah, if you feel like sharing your situation, Anita, I feel like I don't have much in common with most people I'm around. But here
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't have much in common with humans. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, can I just say a little about that? Sorry, I just took a bite of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anne, thank you for this inquiry. Yeah, I've often felt like that my whole life because I have a tendency to pursue that intuitive, energetic, that realm, inquiring, just trying to make myself just that better person and different things. So I said thank you for bringing this up, but now I'm feeling in my chest, dang it, why did you bring this up? because now I've got to look at it this morning. Why did I log on today?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Because yeah, in my local realm, like it seems like people at a distance, like online like this, are the ones that get me and I get them. But then, in a upfront, close and personal, they don't. And I don't get them and what they want to talk about and pursue either. And so, okay. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Good. thing to see. I don't know, just establishing what's happening. Yeah. Anyone else want to share their how they relate to this thought, this concept? We don't have much in common. So Valentina sharing, I don't have much in common when I believe I know who I am. And you see that kind of moment when you're knowing who you are and you're like, okay, awesome. Mary, I don't have much in common with my younger clients and colleagues at work. Great. That's such a good one. Yeah. Those people who are that age, those people who are of that nature. Really good. Okay. All right. So just, hold a group in mind or a person and just see. And Steph saying, I struggle to find things in common with my partner. Really good. So this is a person that you are quite close to and you have a lot in common with in many ways, but on this topic, that's what we're going to look at, spotlight. Yeah, find things in common with my partner. Yes, Cindy, I don't have much in common with billionaires. Love it. Done that kind of work myself. And Patricia, I don't have much in common with my husband on the fun things. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, Bonnie, I don't have things in common with my grandsons who say, oh, grandma, and laugh. I feel I don't let them know who I really am. Beautiful. Okay. Love these situations and just see, as you see the images of those people and you encountering them in your life and this great moment with Anne. Okay. So there you are at a gathering. Okay, so Anne, you don't have much in common with them. Is it true?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So can you absolutely know that it's true? You don't have much in common with them.
No.
How'd you see that no there?
Well, I mean, we have in common that we live in the same development. We're all older, the older set. I'm 66 and I think I might be one of the youngest people. Well, that's not true, but there are younger couples who live here. But the people that were there last night are more older people. So I'm like them. And some of them are art historians and interested in art. And so there's that common thread, even though it's a little different than being an artist, but still it's there. So I can't say absolutely that there's nothing that we don't have anything in common or much in common.
And just check, and it may not, I don't know, we'll just see. So especially on the things that you feel that you would love to have in common with them, that you were kind of writing about in your worksheet. To see if it's absolutely true. You don't have that in common with them.
I don't know what their spiritual lives are like. And even if I did know, it wouldn't be for me to judge whether we had a rapprochement or something. So, yeah, I can't know for sure.
Good.
And maybe they're more youthful in their thinking than they let on. I don't know. So
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. I love that if I don't know, I just don't even know. Well, then can I absolutely know it's true? No. All right. What happens when you think it? No. I don't have much in common, especially spiritually, with these people.
yeah, I just feel like they're all talking about their worldly roles and stuff like that. And I don't know, I don't feel like, I mean, I have a worldly role, but it's not the same. And I I start to feel alienated. Um, I start to feel uh, like they're real adults and I'm a fake. Um, and I get frustrated that people don't talk more about um, what's going on inside them. You know, you ask somebody how they are, and they talk sometimes about little things that are going on, and it drives me crazy. Um,
So good to notice. Something's that, annoying. How do I react? I'm annoyed.
Annoyed,
They're
yes,
talking about stuff I don't get, don't like.
yeah,
Okay, here I am. And I'm in the presence of these people. We don't have much in common, especially when it comes to spiritual connection.
yeah.
How do you treat them? I mean, there's the energy. What's it like between the two of you?
Um, I kind of, I, well, there was one woman in particular who seemed to be taking an attitude about the work that was going on in her house, and like this, I don't know, taking an attitude, and I thought to myself, I don't, maybe she's somebody I don't like very much.
Mhm.
So I make a judgment that
Mhm.
I don't like them, and that I don't have to buy into their attitudes um, or their stories. Um, so I don't I don't treat them with the benefit of the doubt. I've already made a judgment about them, and I treat myself uh, not very well either.
Mm.
Like I'm a loser myself. Like they're a loser, I'm a loser. It's a loser all the way around.
So good to see. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it. They're a loser. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Okay. So Patricia, also answering the question, and anyone can also share that too. How do you react? Life is just a drudgery. I don't have a friend to do the things with.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It is hopeless. I want more of the light stuff and less of the heavy, real stuff. I'm angry that I choose a life of intensity and not of fun. Uh,
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm right there.
yeah. Isn't that powerful to see, like, in there? How do I react when I don't have something in common that's important to me with this group, this person? Wow, all of life is a drudgery. Meh.
Yes. And it makes me feel like I'm never going to find my people, quote unquote, or my people don't exist, or they exist only in ones or twos, but not groups.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was right there with that, with what you were reading from that. I don't know who it was that said
Yeah.
it.
Patricia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. And Bonnie, I have a friend who I end up judging and cringing inside. How could she think this way? How can she be so unconscious? How can I be her friend? Yeah. Love you shared that, it's just like letting it, how do I react? It's just watching the mind do what it does. I'm not, don't have to be ashamed of it, just watching where it moves. And Anita.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, Anita, right. Like we are all scattered around and never clumped in one local area. Yeah, there's people, but it's
Except
right.
at the school.
Except at the school for the work, right? Yeah. Like Anita said, here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just noticing how you see yourself. You said loser. How you see them, loser. How you treat life.
I treat life like it's not fun, and the way that I have fun, the only way that I know how to have fun is to look inside myself, which and see kind of underneath the skin of superficial things. That to me is interesting. That to me is what I want to know about from life, from people, from myself. But that tends to be that's not what people you normally call fun. They normally call that weird or intense or over the top or something like that.
Right. Yeah, Patricia.
I'm having trouble writing this down. It's like
Sure.
I want, all right, so with my husband I can talk about anything. We do talk about anything, and but it's like the whole other, like I don't know how to have it with both types. Like either I want it superficial and have fun and light and not be intense and talk about deep stuff and spiritual stuff and all the pain and agony and stuff. But then I'm with people that's just superficial like that, and it's boring or not. It doesn't feel real either. So I don't know. Somehow
Yeah.
that struggle to find people in common doesn't work out or something. I don't know what I want to say about that, but that's where I am with it.
I love it. It's like you're looking at what is this thing called in common, and I'm just, my mind is definitely talking about how it's not happening.
Yeah.
Whether it's superficial or deep, maybe either way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, actually, I think one of the reasons I'm here today is for this very reason, because, I just did the year of inquiry, and I found that was maybe ended 2 weeks ago, and I'm feeling a bit adrift and at a loss. And that year of inquiry, what it offered was a group of people who speak the same language, and that we have something in common to be able to say, like, for whatever reason, we're doing this weird thing of, I feel like when people ask me, "Oh, what are you up to? What have you been doing?" I'm, well, questioning my thoughts. I don't have a lot to say. What are they supposed to do with that? Like, that's the focus of my life. So it is really important. Like, so I was like, oh, it's First Friday. I just need to go and be around people who understand what we're doing. Like, we have this in common. Like, and I think that's really important. And then the other, the thing that I'm having trouble with in my job, where people are younger, is it's sort of like the grandmother person. I feel like I'm like an elderly aunt that they are obligated to talk to. Now, I don't know if this is true, but this is sort of how I see it, because I don't understand. I'm not plugged into social media, technology. There's a whole lot of stuff that I'm just not in the loop. I didn't watch the same TV shows they did growing up. I don't get the references. So I'm a different generation, and the
Mhm.
generations are changing so quickly that I can feel sort of useless, or like I'm just, I really don't know what they're actually feeling. And probably people would be like, Mary, don't, you're being ridiculous, but it's how I feel. My insecurities get, I feel like I have nothing to say, I have nothing to offer. And yeah, like I don't show them who I really am because I don't know how to share like the way I live with
Mhm.
inquiry and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad, really glad this topic came up. That separation it creates for us is, painful.
Yeah. 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 Well said. Yeah.
I like what you said about saying to people that you inquire about your thinking, into your thinking, however you say it. And you said, and what are people supposed to do with that? Yeah, exactly.
Uh, yeah. Makes me laugh. I get it. So me, and I love the noticing of in all this kind of what we don't have in common. Like, so when I'm believing the thought, I don't have much in common. I don't have this stuff that I really like to have in common with these people. Or just whatever it is, there's not something relatable here that's important to me. I'm really noticing all the things that are not in common. Oh, they like that. Oh, they like that thing. Oh, they're those kind of people. Oh, they have those shows, or they just said those words and I don't even know what they're talking about.
Mhm.
Just noticing differences, just interested in the differences.
Can I say some of them?
Yeah.
Um, well, uh, they're all either married or divorced. And I've never been married, never been divorced, obviously. A lot of them have children. I don't have children. A lot of them have worked professional jobs. And I have been an artist for a long time, so I never really did the professional route. Um, and I really I love being here where I am, where I'm located physically with my condo. And I think they do too, but they're always things that they complain about. And there are things I complain about too, but like, anyway, maybe that is something we have in common. We just complain about different things.
But I love what you were seeing there is sort of like you really make a note of these things that you haven't done, that human beings do in life, and I haven't done those.
Yeah.
Married, divorced, children, whatever the list.
Yes.
Yeah, Claire. Hi.
Hi, everyone. So I'm sitting here doing it about this one fellow in our a couples group that we're in, and it dawned on me that it's not just him, but it's that feel that I don't have much in common with, but I think it's men in general. I think I like avoid speaking to men because I feel like, I don't know, especially the ones who seem to be like masculine and don't talk a lot. It's just like I feel so uncomfortable, and I'm trying to come up with some subject to talk about that they might be interested in, and I have no idea, and then I just realized, oh my gosh, it's a whole category. Like
Good one to
50%
see.
of, yeah.
Fabulous to see. Yeah. My mind has put them in that, oh, that's a man. So therefore, you know, what it does, which is so normal for a mind. Yeah. And just one more question here. It's good to think, like, if it reminds me of anything, if I have this thought from way back, I don't have much in common with these people.
Well, when I was when my mother brought me to kindergarten when I was 4, there are all these, I think I've said this before in other inquiries, but there are all these kids sitting on the floor coloring, making a mess, coloring all over the place. And I didn't want to go be with them for some reason. I hid behind my mother's skirt. So
Mhm.
there is that feeling then, that
Yeah.
they've already got something going together and I am not included, and so never mind.
Yeah.
Mm.
Awesome to see how young it can be. There's a me and there's the other, and careful, dangerous, yeah, unknown. Okay. So still sitting with whoever it is you're observing. In this case, there's the party. Now, who would you be without this thought and the story that goes with it? Without that story, without that thought, I don't have much in common with these people.
I think I would just be more relaxed, like more patient with myself and with other people, more willing to sit and listen to them,
Hmm.
and with the knowledge that, I might have something to say or I might not have something to say, and either scenario is okay.
Sounds a lot more relaxed.
Yeah,
Yeah. No need to leave either. Like, it's time to go.
right, right.
Yeah. Not that leaving is nothing wrong with leaving, of course, because sometimes that's just feels a perfectly wonderful thing to do. But it sounded like that was a stressful thing in this situation. Boom, off I go. Yeah, not necessary. So Patricia, I would notice all that we do have in common.
Yeah.
And Bonnie saying yes. Yeah, like I mean, just beginning to notice it's almost like taking off the pair of glasses that's talking about what isn't in common
Mhm.
and just setting that down.
Right. And also, if I just allow myself to, instead of kind of hitting on the party and then sitting with people for a little bit and then playing ping pong and then looking back at everybody and saying, oh, never mind this. I think I would, like I said, be more patient with myself and with people, just to sit with them and listen. Um, and 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 probably find out that there are more things, find out more about the things that we do have in common.
Hmm.
Things that um, things that might need a little cajoling from them, but by cajoling I just mean listening, more listening to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know, it's a theory.
But it does sound like there's a sense of since I don't know them, I don't know what is or is not in common. I'm curious.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean I have to get to know anybody more than but I'm just curious about them. And some of these people that we think we don't have much in common with, we are super curious about, it turns out.
Mhm.
What is going on over there?
Yeah.
I really would like to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patricia, I don't feel alone
Right.
when I don't have this thought. Bonnie, I wonder why I feel I have to judge them wrong because they think differently than I do. Can I just accept them as they are?
Mm.
Great question.
Yes.
Sometimes like to look, like, what am I afraid of? What's the fear? If they don't think something that's the same, they think that way.
The fear is that they'll see that I don't think the way they do, and they will declare me a fraud.
Ah,
I will have to live with that shame or whatever,
yeah.
guilt.
So that's great to see something terrible about this thing called being a fraud, fake, or
An imposter.
an imposter. Yeah. Which is a great thing to just sort of hold over here is like for more inquiry. I mean, just like, wow, look at this imposter thing going on in my mind. That's a really terrible thing. Without the story, I have nothing in common with them. I don't have, especially this thing that I care about, this spiritual conversation. Without the thought, I don't have that in common with them. Well, that's interesting.
I just have more of a sense of humor about everything. That, without the thought that I don't have the spiritual in common with them. It's like, give myself a break, give them a break.
That's greater ease.
Yeah.
I like Lisbeth is sharing my fears that I'll feel alone, and I don't want to feel alone if we don't have this in common. And I don't like notice they kind of play off each other. Did I already feel alone? And then I said, oh, there's nothing here, or is there nothing here? And then I feel alone. And yeah. It's good to look at that. Valentina, I'd be free to be as I'm being. I can rest and trust in my beingness as it is. Yeah, here I am, present in this situation. And Claire, I realize there are options to talking. I can suggest we do something together, clean up, look at the garden, kind of skate. Yeah. I love that, not saying you're going here, but like the mind that says I know what it looks like to have something in common. I know what it looks like when you're connecting, and I know what it looks like when you're not. But what if you're connecting even if you're sitting there without even saying a word? There you are at that party, and just without any story, I have nothing in common with these people, or not much.
Yeah, I'm not feeling like I have anything to say right now. I appreciate what others have been saying about this.
It's very sweet. And Patricia said, my right to exist as I am is not in question when I don't have this thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I am. Yes.
And I don't have to prove myself to anybody, especially not myself without the thought.
Yeah.
I don't have to prove that I belong anywhere without the thought we don't have much in common, without the thought that we don't have anything spiritual in common. I don't have this I don't compare myself to people. That's part of what was going on yesterday also, is this comparing myself to people,
Mm-hmm.
like uh, like if only I had her experience, I could talk to these people.
Uh-huh.
If only I had his knowledge, I could, command attention or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Such a good one to see. Yeah. If only I had that age, if I only had that billions, if I only had, those same jokes, if I only, it'll just, the mind talks about that, what's missing.
yeah.
Yeah. I love Valentina shares, what if what I have in common is that that is prior to expression, like that comes without the thought. The commonality here is beyond expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just here we are in the same room, in the same environment, outside in this thing. And so, wow, amazing. And Bonnie, maybe if I share my truth, it will resonate with someone, or maybe not. Okay,
Mm.
either way, but I can take the risk.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's turn it around. I don't have much in common with them, especially spiritually. Um, I
I'm sorry.
was going to go with my thinking first, but
Oh, okay. Okay. So my thinking doesn't have much in common with them. Is that how you?
I don't have much in common with my own thinking
Oh, I don't have much in common with my own thinking.
when it comes to these other people.
Yeah. I don't have much in common with my own thinking.
I mean, my thinking's over there busy talking about what's different and maybe who I am, like the whole, my presence, myself, just being here, human being, actually is all there.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much in common with my thinking because my thinking sets me up to see things fearfully, and um, and I, on the other hand, I was just there with people until I wasn't.
Yeah, it's pretty
Uh,
sweet, really. Yeah. Human being, you walked into the space and did what you did, a little ping pong, then it left. And sure, there were thoughts running because human beings have minds. It's okay. And but yeah, my thinking, I didn't have much in common with my actual thinking.
mm,
Like in common is kind of sweet, like connected, makes me think of the commons in campuses, university. That's where you go and everyone's together. Yeah.
I also don't have much in common with my thinking when it compares me to other people or is
Ah,
in judgmental kind of mode.
awesome. Yes.
Because I feel like the truth about me is that I am loving, and I don't see myself in the way that my thinking sees me.
Mm, yeah. Very sweet. Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't have much in common with my thinking. I want to hear from other people. I don't know if I have another.
Yeah. I love Pat's sharing. I don't have much in common with my thinking. It is variable, unstable, all over the place.
Yeah.
And I am just here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what thought I've ever thought before in my whole life, I've always been there.
Yeah.
And my thoughts sure have changed and gone all over the place.
Yes.
Nice to know that I'm not my thinking. How could I be?
I don't have much in common with my thinking, because my thinking often creates these dangerous scenarios where other people are predators, or, you know, some kind untrustworthy character.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm just sitting there meditating, and my mind is going bonkers.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's great. Okay. Well, it really does have a strong, I love that one for just as you shared, you know, the story that I have about whatever I've decided about these kind of people, or that this is what life is like. And just seeing, wow, I actually don't have much in common with that.
Yeah.
How do I know? Because it causes unrest in here. You know, I feel, I don't, I'm talking about not fitting in, and so that shows me I'm believing something that isn't really true for me.
Yeah.
All right, another turnaround. I don't have much in common with them.
We do have much in common.
We do. Yes, we do.
Well, we were all there together at the gathering. We all live in this neighborhood. And, you know, I saw some people when I first sat down, and not everybody looked like they were having a great time and really comfortable with everybody. And people were struggling to know what to say to each other. So, you know, we all have that initial discomfort with people, I think.
Yes, it's like human beings kind of going, huh, okay. Yeah, we all are having thoughts.
Yeah.
Nice to know.
Mm.
Not unique. How about spiritually? Like this way that you would really like to have something in common over there, like that thing that you think is missing. You see any way that could be true? Yeah, Mary. Mary's got one.
Well, yeah, following along that, I was thinking what I have in common is seeing that everybody's trying to connect, and that even some of the things that we think we don't have in common are there other people's way of trying to connect, by maybe having something to. I'm just thinking about like the men thing, like, and sometimes I've thought, oh, I should follow sports, or I should read the news, or I should do these various things so that I do have a way to connect. So I have a topic, and and so a lot of people are doing that. They're feeling like this is how you have to live in the world, and you gotta find these ways because. And then so it feels like then I look at all of us more kindly and sort of appreciate we're all trying, and it's okay to sort of stumble. And I feel more open-hearted that way. So I think that was, yeah, I think that was just that common humanity.
Yeah, yeah. So sweet. It's great.
I also, just back on the other one, I had a thought like that when we were saying I don't have much in common with my thinking. And I was thinking, yeah, your thinking probably doesn't play ping pong.
Yeah.
So, and to me, I think that thing about gardening or, activities is sometimes that's so helpful because our thinking doesn't do that, so we have another way, another way where the thinking can just be quiet for a while.
Mm.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah, it is kind of sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here I am being a human, breathing, doing dishes, walking. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm. really like that I might not know, like you said, Anne, at the beginning, but I don't, I'm imagining, most people might have a curiosity about whatever spiritual is, like what happens after we die? What does it mean when I say spirit? What's my experience been with that? Just most people I keep finding have something to say about that, or an experience of that, or or I've wondered about it, or given it up, or like, since I don't know, I don't like it, whatever, but there's still something there.
Or there are some people who think that because they've gone to church, they've taken care of that and that's it. And why talk about it anymore?
Yeah. Which is a sort of thing in itself. So they I do have something in common with that, because they've sort of made a decision about that. But it's still been presented to them in life sometime, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've encountered wondering, or looking at whatever that is.
Yeah.
And worth turning it around to the other.
They don't have much in common with me.
And they feel nervous about that. So here I feel nervous about not having done the same things, care about the same things, or look like the same way. But maybe they feel that about me. Maybe they feel nervous about not knowing how to connect with me.
Yeah. Because I don't have the same things to talk about that they usually talk about with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have the significant other or the kids or the grandkids or whatever.
Yeah. And they might be just so curious about, like, wow, what would that be like? They could be really interested in that, like
Yeah.
what that would be like if they just feel nervous about it because they don't know.
Right. And they ask me, are you lonely?
Uh-huh.
Yes, sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Are you? Loneliness could be a topic of conversation.
Yes, right. So it's kind of it's such a it's a very intimate question in a way.
Mhm.
Just wondering, is that what makes people not lonely? Getting married and having children, and do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Or is that what happened, or isn't it? Yeah. Oh, and I love Patricia, that you're doing that. I have too much in common with them. Interesting. How does that fit with you?
With
Yeah.
me or with Patricia?
With Patricia.
Yeah, so am I muted?
No.
You're there.
Yeah, I just noticed that, particularly with my husband, that I fight to be separate, that I fight to be special, to not be the same as them. Like, aren't I? And I do that with other people as well. Like, I'm not going to participate in that because I'm special, in this way or that
Love it.
way, all this other, I think about that, how, well, I'm not like that and there's a certain self-righteousness and
Mm.
better trying to be something
Yeah.
separate, special or something.
It's so great to see in the midst of it all. Like I've kind of seen what I'm the way the mind will, put things in buckets. This is good and this is bad and this is right and this is wrong. This is dangerous and this is safe, and that it just goes the other way too. I'm not like that. Yeah. Yeah. Anything more, Anne?
Um, the turnaround is they don't have much in common with me.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think I'm um well, I mean, I walk around a lot around the property, and there are people who do, but not so much the people who were there last night. So that's one thing. I'm really devoted to my artwork, which I don't know that they would understand, or like they ask me where I sell it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's equated with, it has to be equated somehow with money or making money, and to them, and to me, not so much. So yeah, there's that.
Good
Like,
example.
how do they start a conversation with me if I'm not
Yeah.
marketplace, so to speak?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good to see. They might, there they are. They might be certainly interested or in your presence and having the same kind of nervousness, but I don't really know what's going on over there. And, do I have anything in common? Yeah. It's great. Yeah, they could.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in and having to judge your neighbor. So takeaways, or anyone want to share anything? And Valentina sharing, I realize that trying to find things in common is affirming that we are separate, and that perpetuates the disturbance. I'm trying to connect, be one with that by insisting in being different and separate. Wow.
Would you read that again?
Yes. I realized that trying to find things in common is affirming that we are separate, and that perpetuates the disturbance. I'm trying to connect, be one with that by insisting in being different and separate. Wow. Yeah. Good to see. Good to see. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Anyone want to share anything else that they saw just as you did that?
Well,
Yes.
I felt something in response to that quote, which is just sort of understanding that we all have our egos, as Byron Katie says, we carry our fears with our egos. And in one way or another, we can be invalidated, and the ego just cannot handle that. And so we walk into these situations with that threat of being invalidated, and somehow being different or not connecting brings that up, in different forms for each of us. But that other oneness it doesn't happen once the whole thing goes away when you get into that different open-hearted state, so yeah.
Isn't that sweet? It's so really kind of beautiful. And this might be a little bit of a just to take with you in a living turnaround, but all those people that you say, those people that are like maybe quite extremely look pretty different from you, that vote those other ways, or decide to do those other things, or just a shared experience of being human and not having it be so dangerous, but it looks different.
So I have one more thing to say, which is sometimes when I'm in a group of people who are just acting really different from me, who are maybe those people who vote differently than I do, or people who feel threatening to me, it's really hard for me to be open-hearted. And how do you handle yourself in situations like that, Grace?
I love that question. First, I would question it's hard for me to be open-hearted, but I get what you're saying. It's like your mind would come in because that's its job under threat.
Threatening.
A quick, a mind coming in, Like, what are we going to do? We got, it's just adrenaline and the stuff that protective, and it's like, I don't know, there's sort of discernment, if you walk into the middle of a fight happening, oh, okay, walk around the corner and there's a fight going on over there. It's just trust the experience, and that I'm here showing up and experiencing this. And I love the starting quote from Katie. It's only yourself you're ever dealing with.
Yeah.
It's just that both, and noticing it's only myself I'm ever dealing with. Or my thinking. Yeah. Claire.
It just occurred to me that that it could be that the people themselves don't have as much in common with each other as we think. Like we see them from the outside, and we see them as a group, so it's kind of threatening.
Yeah.
But it could be that they could be on very different levels, or who knows, hiding things from each, and that doesn't even occur to me, because they're seen as one lump.
So good. Right. I mean, have we ever felt like completely merged when we're in a group? Like I'm the same as everybody here? Probably not. Yeah. So that's a great one. Thank you. Mary.
Just another one in relation to that last question of when you're in this situation. Of course, it's harder. I mean, doing worksheets for me helps a lot. If I can anticipate a situation and do a worksheet in advance, it clears space and really does change things. But I have been in situations and where when we did Year of Inquiry, some of us were on Marco Polo, and I was walking into a party situation, which creates all this for me. And I just quickly got on Marco Polo, and I was like, I just have to tell you guys, all these thoughts are coming in, and who would I be without that thought? Like, in that one line, it's like this sort of what would Jesus do thing for Christians, but this is like, who would I be without that thought? Just to ask that just gives me a little bit of help.
I totally remember that. Yeah.
And kind of knowing, like, you know what, this is rough going, but I could do a worksheet later. What would Grace do? I saw that. What would Grace do? Good, yeah. So that can kind of help me a little bit, just to be like, oh yeah, this thing is happening. Oh no.
Yes, I love it. It's sort of like saying, oh my gosh,
here we
here's
go.
my mind. And instead of trying to get rid of it so fast or run away from it like we do or whatever, it's just mind is activated here. It's going. There's something kind of very dear and tender about that I am with it. I kind of have no choice, but I do have the choice to inquire and to ultimately always come back to I am in common with myself. A living turnaround is, instead of looking at what I'm not in common with, kind of like Valentina was sharing, I'm in common with myself here. I'm in common with life itself. That is who I am. Life living itself, and having a mind that thinks. And wow, to share it, that's the sweetest. I remember that moment because I think you turned the camera around and kind of showed the party, it was great. And everyone could relate. I can totally relate to that. And remember long ago having that and going into a party and kind of having the work and sharing. Had been seeing that from doing the work beforehand and sharing. I don't feel super comfortable in large groups to the first person that I ran into, and just sat down on the couch instead of like kind of hovering around and going straight to the food table or, going to get a drink or whatever. And just sitting on the couch and saying, I was getting a little nervous coming into a party, and it changed everything.
Mm.
It just changed everything.
Mm.
It was one of the best, most fun times I ever had at a party from that point, you know? Yeah, Claire. Did you have anything else? Oh, that was from before. Beautiful. All right. Off we go, everybody, into the weekend. So enjoy yourselves. Thanks for being here. Yeah, thank you, Anne.
Yes, everybody.
Thank you, Anne. That was wonderful. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.